So now I want to cover basically the filters in Photoshop. And again, this is just touching on it. We're going to do a lot more with this throughout this video series. But if you come up to the top Photoshop menu bar, you'll find the word filter. Click on it. Remember that the very first one is always the very last filter you applied with the exact settings. You only choose this very first one if you know that you specifically want to do that. Typically, you're going to go down to the category. Like if I want to apply a new Gaussian blur, I'll go down to blur and choose Gaussian blur to open up that whole dialog box and make all my adjustments in a custom way. And then you have the blur gallery, you've got the distort options, you've got the noise options. You can really go through and see all the tons of stuff you can do. But I think a good place to start is just the filter gallery, where it puts most of those filters, not every one of them, but it puts most of them at your fingertips. Looks like the last one I applied was the distort and diffuse glow. So on almost all the filters, when you choose them, you can alter their settings. Like if I want more glow and less clear, and it looks like I've got my graininess cranked all the way up. So essentially you kind of get this idea of what the effect is. So again, here in the filter gallery, I'm going to choose artistic, and I want you to apply cutout to one. The number of levels means the more levels you're going to have. The edge simplicity, you can make it really abstract to the right, or as realistic as possible to the left. And then obviously this is how crisp the edges will be to real life. So you can kind of play with this. I always think this cutout filter is good to kind of give your image like an abstract illustrative look. And if you come down on the number of levels, the more kind of woodcut like it will be. And the more you go, the more, I think I like 7 the best. I like how it retained a lot of these lines. So definitely experiment, but use these settings for the first project image. So I'm going to click OK. I'm going to save this out. I want you to do the same thing. So I'll just come over and rename this A at the front. Embed sRGB, of course. Now I saved it as a JPEG. That's 100% why I wanted to rename it, so I wouldn't overwrite my original file. Whenever you're saving as a JPEG, always use a quality of 12 and click OK. Remember, if you don't have any layers, it will automatically save as a JPEG and will typically overwrite your original file if you don't rename it. So I'm going to hit Command or Control Z. So that just undid it here in Photoshop. This file is still saved onto my hard drive with that application applied, right? But it is currently still under that new name. So now let's go back up to filter. Let's go down to the filter gallery and let's choose something else. Here's stylize, glowing edges. Drag up the brightness, the smoothness. Makes it look a little too blurry. I'll come down on the smooth. Brightness is too bright and it's blowing it out. That's too dark. So I want some kind of a balance that looks like maybe a blacklight drawing. I feel like here's that nice balance. Again, feel free to experiment, but use these settings for your glowing edges second image. So I'm going to click OK on this. I really enjoy that. Just out of curiosity, I'm going to hit Command I, just invert that and see what it looks like. Oh, that's interesting. Hit Command I again to go back. I think this is most interesting. And then I'm going to re-crop this one by hitting the crop tool. It's always good to practice your cropping because generally every image can be improved by cropping. Yeah, I can pull this over, get that rule of thirds a little bit more dominant, really focus on these diagonal lines and this circular shape. Yeah, I think somewhere in here looks really interesting. Hit enter, and this is a perfect one to save out. And remember to come up and rename that some way, put another A or a B or another number. You want to make your file appear differently if you're saving them as a consistent JPEG because you didn't add your extra layer or something. Click save. Now I'm gonna hit Command or Control Z to step backwards. Again, again, again. Remember, it's remembered every step that I did. By default, Photoshop will remember the last 40 things you did. Now, if you're worried that, okay, I'm so afraid that I'm going to overwrite my original photograph someday, it's good to develop a consistent workflow. For me, every time I open a file, generally speaking, I always hit Command J to duplicate it. That means no matter what, even though I've done nothing, I have done one thing. I've duplicated the layer. And you can't save a file as a JPEG with more than the background layer. So if I go in and try to save this right now, it doesn't even let me choose a JPEG. It's only Photoshop. So that's the only way I can save it. So that's a good workflow tip to protect yourself, because what we just did was a little bit of variety of not doing that, which I don't totally recommend. So now for your third version of this image, go experiment with the filter gallery, find your favorite filter, and you apply it to this bee and flower image, whatever settings you want. Let's go ahead and go back to this image, top Photoshop menu bar, go down to filter, choose filter gallery, and it applied the last thing I did, which in this instance was that glowing edges. But let's see if there's something else. Maybe go to artistic. What would cutout do here? Can you tell cutout's one of my favorites? I just enjoy how it looks like such an illustration. Well, let's try some other things. Neon glow, paint daubs, sponge, poster edges. Here's the brush strokes. How about dark strokes, ink outlines, sumi, crosshatch. So it's sort of like the crosshatch, but here's the thing that I want to show you. Watch this. If I come down to this little plus icon and click new effect layer, it basically duplicated whatever I was on, but now I get to go in and say, now let's do diffuse glow on top of that. So now I've got two filter effects applied. So I can pull up the glow amount, pull down the clear amount to make things a little glowier, maybe pull down the graininess a bit, and then I can click the plus icon again. It's going to duplicate the last thing I did with all the effects, but now I have the ability of going back and changing some things. So maybe I'll go into texture and then choose texturizer. It was sort of like that texture applied with the crosshatch and the diffuse glow. Now here's something that's interesting that you should experiment with. You have unlimited variations. I can grab the diffuse glow by clicking on it, just like a layer in the layers panel, and drag it up above texturizer. Do you see how it put it at the top? I can grab crosshatch and put it in between. Do you see how it changes the image? Everything is related to its organization in this layer stack here in this filter gallery. So that's just something to think about and know that you can play with. If I want the relief a little crazier, a little less. If I want the scaling a little bigger, which this texturizer reminds me of the texture of a canvas. So it just makes it look more like a painting. Once it's printed out and displayed large. I'll click OK, and there we go. And again, I didn't duplicate my layer, so I got to be careful when I save this so I don't overwrite my original file. But do you remember that trick I showed you already? Everything we did, even though it was multiple steps, it was all inside the filter gallery. So if I hit Command or Control Z just once, it takes me back to my original photograph. And just hit Command or Control J to duplicate the layer. I now have a duplicated layer, which can only be saved as a .psd file. I can go back up to filter. And what have we already learned? Like here is the filter gallery, but I have the three dots, which anything with three dots means it's going to open a dialog box. Anything with an arrow means there's more choices that you get to choose from. But that very top line, no matter what you last did, whether it was the camera raw filter, a blur filter, or here, multiple filters in the filter gallery, it's going to remember all the stuff you just did, and it's going to save it to this top line so you can easily and quickly reapply it. Boom. I just re-got all my work. It's now 100% a PSD file, so I don't have to worry about overwriting my JPEG. But I still need to save this as a PSD. I'm just saying it will only let me save it as a PSD with layers. So when you apply filters for the frog image, just apply 3 different filters squished together like I did. Hey, if you like this video and it helps, you can help me. Smack it, whack it, and crack-a-lack it. Take care. I like subscribers.
That's awesome! Whoa! Yes! Oh my god, I did! This is...
Hey, you stayed to the end. You know what that means? You're awesome. I'm talking about you. Now get out of here.